Well, basically, if you have epilepsy, don't watch 1975 films. That's what you say.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, welcome.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome back.
Welcome back after the summer break. What a treat we've got for you today.
We have a double header today.
Oof. And surprise, surprise, we're doing musicals.
Both musicals.
Wow.
Amazing.
It could have been like the worst or the best. Well, probably the worst. Because I'm notoriously like, I don't understand musicals, blah, blah, blah. But I'm trying to be better. And Renata is helping me to show me the world of the musical theatre.
Yeah, we're getting her caught up on like...
Is this like a musical? Let me show you the world.
I mean, yes, but there is a stage adaptation musical of it.
Sick. Look at me, guys. Fucking legend.
It is, yeah.
Anyway, so we went to see 2 shows and kind of back to back.
Yeah, really back to back because we saw the 2 shows are A Chorus Line at Sadler's Wells and Next to Normal at the Wyndham's Theater, but it's produced by the Don Mar.
I'm trying to say 70s musical.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
70s.
See how I'm learning. Anyway, we're going to try not to yap that much.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 shows. So let's go to Renata and Rasa from the past.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh my goodness. I need to do some more cardio ASAP. Honestly, bro. So actually, we're really changing pace today.
We are changing pace today.
Everyone's gonna be shocked. It's not an American playwright.
But it's an American play. Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
It's a musical.
It is.
Renata is making me go to musicals.
We have to.
And to be fair, I enjoy it. So, yeah. And for the first time, I actually know what that's about because Renata has...
I told you what this is about.
Has devised a course for me to get up to speed to all the common sense things that everyone should know about musical theatre.
And I think this one will resonate with you because it's about our business.
It's about the struggle.
Yeah, that's what it's about. And it is true documentary theater in the sense that the original actors in this show helped create the show. Yeah. Basically with their interviews, with their anecdotes. They were recording interviews and they put them together to create the songs and
that they didn't
monologues.
Get the writing.
Yeah, I don't think they got any type of... The only person who I feel like has actually like... The person who is like the torch bearer for this show is Bjork Lee, who was the original Connie, who was a part of the original cast, and she's directed it and choreographed it all over the world. Yeah. And she's like the true like conservator of this piece. So I'm curious to see. I mean, this is the quintessential. It's just a scrim we're seeing and a ghost light with a chorus line projected onto the scrim, and this is like the
singular ghost light.
Yeah, and a water cooler. But it's going to be very bare because we know what it's about. It's literally in an audition, in a dance audition for ensemble, not the lead. So, and the graphic here is like the quintessential, like basically all chorus line productions have a similar graphic.
Yes, it's like this.
It's like a marquee. Yeah,
that's it. Cool. Yeah. So it's 2 hours no interval. So
all the way
we're gonna see.
We love that.
We're gonna see after. Yeah.
It's very fast-paced, so I think you'll...
It's fine. I'll survive in yet another musical. Pray for me, guys.
So we open up to an audition process, a dance call.
Yeah. The stage is very bare, very like... we're in the middle of the class. The director, his name is Zach, is trying to find dancer for his dancers, 8 dancers for his chorus line.
In the middle of teaching them the 8 counts.
Yeah. Then he kind of changes tactics and realizes that just seeing them dance is not enough. And he kind of pushes them to...
But he cuts dancers first.
Yeah. Like this. Completely forgot.
But can I comment on the first number?
Yes.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah, of course.
So the first number is God, I Hope I Get It. Well, I Hope I Get It.
Yeah.
Essentially, the dancers are basically like
saying how they really need this job. The lines are, I really need this job. Please, God, I need this job. Like, he doesn't like the way I look. He doesn't like the way I dance. Like, the uncertainty, feeling confident 1 second and then not feeling confident the next second, because you can't really read the man's feelings, because you never can in the rehearsal room, in the audition
and it's
room.
all like whilst performing the choreography. Then then he cuts some of the dancers, and then the last 17 or so, something like that. They're there. They are asked to kind of show their portfolios.
Yeah, and we also know that Zach knows multiple of the dancers already, because it's a small business. Everyone knows each other, so he knows a couple of them already. In particular, one, Cassie, who we'll get to later.
So and then basically they present the headshots. It's like kind of like the same scene, exactly the same like in the original, because like we need to say it's not an original choreography that you were really disappointed by.
Yes, so the choreography has changed.
We'll talk about
all of it, pretty much. You could tell it was some of it inspired by like some of the style, but it was very contemporary choreography, and the original choreography could feel a bit dated for sure, because it came out 50 years ago.
I actually disagree, because I just watched the original. I thought the original felt much fresher.
The original choreography.
That's what we were talking about.
I think it was the archive. I don't think it was bootleg though, because they had 2 camera angles for it. It's terrible quality. Actually, the video is terrible quality, but the audio is actually very good. For
and
1975,
they were not mic'd like traditionally mic'd. They probably maybe were mic'd on stage.
Oh, they had atmosphere mics from above or down below.
Well, but they didn't have like any. It all was projection. Remember, guys, projection.
Yeah, but a lot of people, are scared to be too loud, so they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I don't feel like it's dated, but to some people, the choreography could seem dated.
No, the pace was much quicker.
Yeah.
It felt more urgent.
Yes.
Like it felt raw. Anyway, we'll talk about it later. It's just like we keep going on these motherfucking tangents.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Well, anyway,
we're trying to be better. Okay, cool.
So we've established that the choreography has changed.
Yeah. Then he's like, listen, I'm not interested in you motherfucking dickheads. I want to see your stories, your lives, your struggles. Tell me about yourself.
Tell me your real name, not your stage name.
Yeah, and your age, everything.
Your real age, not your fake age.
Yeah. So we start with Mike. He basically shares the story that he was like the youngest out of 12 children, and he kind of like hijacks his sister's dance class.
Yeah.
And this is how he like started dancing. Then who else? Oh yeah, Sheila. She talks about her kind of difficult childhood and how ballet was kind of
her and 2 other characters in the song at the ballet share that. Again, it was their escape.
Yeah.
It was their escape from having shitty parents who didn't care, or parents who expected way too much of them.
And they do the number like everything is beautiful in the ballet.
Everything is beautiful at the ballet. Raise your arms and someone's always there.
Mm-hmm. Alas,
I was happy. I was pretty. I would love to, that fantasy life of being at the ballet and being in dance class that helped them.
Then we have Diana. She kind of recalls a very humiliating high school experience when
she has kind of like drama teacher who she doesn't understand. So she has those weird exercises they make you do in drama school, and she really wanted to be an actress. It was weird, like exercises like be an ice cream cone, be a table. Like,
that's literally that's literally
real,
the cornerstone of
first year drama school
craft.
Seriously.
If you don't know how to be a giraffe, like, come on.
Yeah, and she just couldn't get with it, so she ended up leaving the performing arts school as a result, I think.
Val. Oh yeah, so she does the she gets the
10 looks
boob
3
job.
So the punchline of that song is tits and ass, because she gets a boob job and she gets her body done and her face done.
Yeah, because she realizes like it's a beautiful people's
dance
kind of
10. She's a great dancer, but she
just looked mousy. Yeah, she looked like. And then we have Paul, who basically talks about like his struggles with identity and again like rejection from his family.
And this is a monologue, and not a song.
Yeah, and then And then there's someone else. Oh yeah, so then it's what's her name? His ex-girlfriend, Cassie?
Yes, Cassie, who became a big star, was an up-and-coming rising star. They were she was his ex-girlfriend. He plucked her from the chorus because he saw star potential in her. Then she
went to LA.
And then she went to LA and
didn't make it. And like that's a very interesting storyline about people actually making it big, and then they can't get just any jobs no more.
Yeah.
And basically, again, she's like, I don't care. I need to eat. I need to pay my bills. I need to have my health insurance.
And I don't want to.
Yeah. I don't give a shit.
I don't want to teach other people what I should be doing. I don't want to be a teacher.
Yeah.
I want to dance. So, God, I'm a dancer. A dancer dances. One of the lines from the show. Sorry.
Kill me.
Told
now.
you it's one of my favorites.
Kill me now. Yeah, and then basically they have like a very interesting conversation with the director being like, what are you doing here? And she was like, well, I need a job.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're a star, you can't be in the chorus line. Like, yeah. And she was like, yeah, but I need to eat, essentially.
And she doesn't see the chorus line as a bad place.
Yeah.
She says that it's an honor to be amongst these people who work so hard and are so talented, and I want to be with them. I want to work with them.
Which is such a refreshing approach, because like, I have a few friends who like used to be child actors, superstars. So they kind of peaked very early.
Oh, geez.
And then
what does that do to your psyche?
Well, that's the thing. And it's very interesting. It's like some of them really struggle because there's this sense of, I guess, entitlement of like, but things were easy, why are they difficult now? And again, I think it limits your opportunities because like people kind of see you as one thing. But Cassie doesn't give a shit. She's like, I need work.
And I want to dance.
Yeah. And then
we continue to hear from the other actors and stuff and from the other dancers about their experiences and their lives and going through puberty and, having your first kiss and having your first boyfriend or girlfriend or coming to terms with being gay, or like really, really funny, but also like, deep things. And even people lightly talking about traumatic experiences, some of the lines, and it's like, wow, that was some fucked up shit that happened to you, but we're going to move on.
Exactly.
That's people compartmentalize. So.
And then basically we see Zach talking to Paul.
Yeah, because he calls Paul out because they're all the other actors are in another room.
Kind of like echoing, I guess, what he's done years ago to Cassie, probably, kind of like seeing his potential. And we have like a very tender moment in between two of them. We kind of see the human side of Zach. It was quite like touching. And then they come back and they do choreo, right?
Yeah, they do some more choreography.
Yeah. And then Paul basically falls.
And he hurts his knee. But apparently he had knee surgery like the year before on that knee.
Right. So that was
got fucked and
kind of career ending probably injury.
Yeah. And then Zach, after Paul gets taken to the hospital, Zach asks, what would you do if you had to stop dancing today? And that has one of my favorite songs after. All the actors, the dancers talk about what I would do. Maybe I'll open up a dance studio. But I also kind of just want to be a mom and have a family, or I don't know whatever it is. I got to do something because I have kids to feed. And they just go back and forth talking about it. And then one of my favorite songs in the show, What I Did for Love. And it's just like I'm putting my body on the line. I'm putting my livelihood on the line because I'm doing this thing that I love.
That doesn't last long at all.
No.
And then he cuts the rest of like 9 or something. I don't know how many.
And it's only like
8.
what? And Cassie gets hired.
Yeah. And then they perform the cheesiest number of all time.
But it is the finishing number. It's also one of the iconic number, Singular Sensation. Anyway. Because it's in that traditional musical theater style, and that's the point. That's the point, because they're auditioning for this nondescript show that we don't know the plot of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so and that's like why the whole cheese, like, and then the sparklers go and everything goes.
Lots of sparklers, gold, the traditional gold costumes. The costumes are always like that every time for the last number.
So bad, and everyone's happy. The end.
Now let's listen to ourselves. Our direct our immediate thoughts after curtain call.
Yes. Oh my god, yes. Yeah, already some flight cases.
Like,
I
ready
love
to
it.
go.
Basically, we're just outside, and it's closing today. It was
It is. It's
the
the
last
one.
show.
I think it's touring, so it's
So-
going somewhere else.
Oh,
Obviously.
that makes sense. So they're already 3 lorries ready and half packed. Everyone's gonna be like, out
Yes.
of here.
No time to waste.
Right. So Renata, intrigued
To hear your after show.
I will say that it got better as it kept going.
Agreed.
It was hard for me to really get into it at the beginning, mostly because I was mad because it's not the same choreography.
Oh, is it?
No, it is
Right.
not. It is not. You can tell it's inspired.
By-
It's but it's completely different choreography. They did change some of the arrangements of some of the songs. I could tell. Made them like a tad shorter. Some of them they increased the tempo, like what I did for Love, which is that song at the end, like near the end. They increased the tempo of that a little bit
Oh, okay.
as well. Not a huge fan of the costume design because are we in the 1970s or not? You know what I mean? And it's clear that we are trying to be in the 1970s, but also not at the same time. I was not a huge fan of the camera usage because we love doing the cameras once again without having purpose. The camera added a nice element seeing people up close, yes, but also it felt gratuitous and useless, and it didn't give me, it could have worked, but it just wasn't used in the right way, I think was my issue with it. I think everyone loves to use the camera now. Thank you, Jamie Lloyd.
No, it's not Jamie Lloyd. Jamie Lloyd is I don't understand music. I'm sorry to say. I think like I would have enjoyed this, but the acting was so bad.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to say, like the
no.
director's character. What was that about? I mean, it got better when actually the acting started matching this naturalistic vibe. When they started taking the time, then I was like, oh, okay, I actually connect with it.
I think,
but that was last 15 minutes.
I think that's my biggest gripe with the entire thing.
Yeah.
It had too much sheen, too much perfection. It is supposed to be nitty gritty piece about the realities of working in show business.
And especially if it's
It was
reality,
too shiny.
and if it's kind of, well, of course, it's not a verbatim theatre, but it's
close to it, though.
It's deeply inspired. You need to match the style of acting. The characters, to me, they all look the same. They're all over the top, same kind of like delivery,
Agreed.
same like, oh, let me be funny. It's like, why you all the same? The only two characters that were different is the Puerto Rican guy, I don't remember, and
Paul.
Candace, Paul and
Cassie.
Cassie, sorry. They felt slightly different. Yeah, I really struggle. If the acting is not there, I struggle to connect, and I was like,
Yeah, I think that was
camera. Agreed. It's like, why? It was so random. The camera work. Like we had shitty seats, so like I was happy for it just because, even though it was like didn't make no fucking sense.
It helped
I
us
could
to be able to
because
see things because we were missing things.
Exactly.
Upstage left, we were missing.
Yeah.
I mean, downstage left, we were missing a lot of action.
And there was a lot of action kind of that happened there. So like I was, thank you for the cameras. Didn't make no fucking sense why you used the cameras.
Didn't. And I think I would have liked it more with the cameras because there's nothing super identifiable about the piece that says it's 1973. You know what I mean with the text? It doesn't necessarily specifically say that this is what year. You know what I mean? It could be in any time period. If we're gonna go, we could go all the way 2024
because of high-tech camera that's working.
Exactly.
Because they included it into. Well, they tried to include it into the action.
And the thing is, in auditions now, they do use a camera.
Yeah,
and that would have
not
made
like
sense.
that. No, but we get starting shot. Use like a fucking shitty camera people use. Or a phone.
That's what I was thinking. A phone would have been more effective.
Make it
if we're
make
gonna
sense.
go 2024, let's go fully 2024.
Yeah.
And I think the costumes also were kind of too 2024 to me. some of it.
New
The hair
Balances
as well.
were,
The
like-
hair was also not 1970s.
Yeah.
Not some of the hair was,
That's what-
but a
like,
lot
I
of the
don't
hair
think
was
they were-
not.
But that's the thing. Maybe they were not trying to send
No,
it in the
maybe not.
1970s. Maybe it was
Maybe
ambiguous
not.
time.
It was
and
very
whatever.
ambiguous, but I don't like a mix. If you want to fully commit to a time, fully commit to a time and do it as correctly as you can.
Yeah, but-
because it's gonna take me out of it immediately.
The end. I know you love pyros, but that was that dance the choreographer did when the hat just slowly came
It
down.
was just a device to give them time to change
I know,
into their
but
costumes.
like, come on, you could have. Why'd you go so cheesy and stupid?
Yeah, it was very cheesy.
But then again, it's like I think it's like the way they chose to like, oh, this is gonna be the acting style of it. But
Yeah.
it doesn't work if it's based on real stories.
Yeah, maybe I'll have you watch the movie and then you'll get a better feel of what it is. I think.
No, I think I got the
think-
feel
you
what
think?
it is. It was not a good production.
No, I agree. It's not my favorite at all. It did get better as it went on, but again,
Paul's-
some of the choices.
Paul's monologue I quite enjoyed. I think from that I like, but that's the one time I really connected.
Yeah, and I think the actor who inspired the Paul character,
Yeah.
pretty sure he died of AIDS.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. But again, that grittiness, that realness was missing. It was too shiny for me.
Yeah.
It needs to be real and gritty because that's what it is. It's supposed to be dirty ass New York City in the 70s.
Didn't
New York
feel-
City was a cesspool in the 70s. We were in an economic
If
downturn.
it's set in the 70s again for this production, we
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
it
We
feels
need
like you're
see.
trying to be, but not at the same time. It's like
Yeah.
commit. If we're gonna commit,
To be
commit.
fair, Water Cooler was 70s,
It was, and they had that voiceover.
but then we have New Balance shoes.
Exactly.
Then we have
And
like,
crochet hairstyles.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no. I want to see a full afro. I'm not gonna see textured crochet hair. I'm going to see a full-on
Yeah.
afro. If we're gonna go there, let's
Yeah.
go there. They also gender bended one of the characters.
Right.
So the one who is like talking about basketball, how good he was at basketball, she was at basketball
Yeah.
and won a scholarship to college.
Yeah, yeah.
It's supposed to be a male character.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. Maybe.
Yeah. Again, like I don't know. I think a thing I'm seeing with theater in general lately is a lot of overacting. And even though it's theater and it's supposed to be bigger than life, of course, so that the person in the last row can see you, we still don't have
But
to
then,
go
but that's the thing. But
unrealistic.
when you, especially when you mic'd, then it's very jarring. But I think it's like it's the style of acting that they decided to use. And the thing is, it's like, ooh, one door's opening. Careful. Sorry. And the thing is as well. It's like. These doors are so huge.
said we're
They are
getting out of
incredible.
here
Keep
today.
going. I think we need to move because they're gonna barricade. I think to move the set now. That's it.
But now you see why this is like
Yeah.
they blew that budget on the pyro.
Yeah.
Because
that's
you see how, in general, it could be one of the least expensive shows you could ever do, right?
Yeah, well-
but the pyro just.
It's like for no reason as well. The pyro was
we love pyro.
stupid. I hate pyros. So dumb.
I have
Honestly.
expensive taste, so I can get around.
Yeah, but like it
pyro.
wasn't even like a good pyro. It was like a fart. Bidim, bidim, bidim. What a shame. Because you know what I kept like thinking like whatever they were saying, I was like imagining how it would sound if
If
it
it
was
was
actually
taken down 3
acted like
notches?
well, and I was like, this is such a fucking interesting story. This is such a nice line. So I was like kept like going 2 steps backwards.
Again, it's a lot of the times it's not the text, it's the
That's the thing. You
directing and the acting.
You can save it if you want to, but I mean there was nothing to be saved. It was, I think, as you say, it's very interesting. Musical in itself, and I can see how it could be incredible. You know, so I really want to watch. I'm gonna watch the original.
I think they may have an original of somebody's bootleg of the original cast from the 70s
You
on
can
YouTube.
get a bootleg.
I think they
I'm
have
sure.
it. I think
Yeah.
I've seen a bootleg of the original 1970 something. So someone snuck
Yeah.
their big ass camera
Damn.
into the balcony
You
to
are-
get that shot.
You are a gentleman and a scholar.
Like, what did they do?
Yeah.
Get a big old trench
I was
coat
like,
and just
excuse
carry
me.
that camera?
Yeah, I'd be like,
Excuse me.
being
me.
so like inconspicuous. It's like,
excuse me.
what is this? I don't know. Sorry, there's no film.
Right.
changing the film, roles in between. But hey,
I'm getting this
what's
shot
a
no matter
legend?
what.
Yeah.
I mean, but you
Because
should go see
one day YouTube will exist.
and someone's gonna digitize it and upload it. I'm gonna see if I can find it, and then I'll send it to you.
That's amazing.
If not, I think maybe the movie would probably be a good whatever.
But hey, I think we're gonna talk about this. So see you, I guess, in the studio with musical expert Renata and musical hater Russ. I'm trying to change, but.
So yeah, these were our immediate thoughts.
Yeah.
Trying not to be hit by a flight case.
Yeah, because we were right in front of the doors where they were opening it up to the stage to load that stuff back on.
Were like, nobody cares about hating these days, guys. So yeah, overall,
I mean, it could have been better. It could have been better. And I think, like we alluded to when we went back to the past, is that, it was too shiny. It was too new. It felt too clean. Even though the text, what they're saying is kind of dark, what it felt like didn't feel as dark as I think it should be.
Yeah, I feel like...
And grounded in reality as it should be.
Yeah, characters to me felt very similar to one another. The acting, I think the way of acting of this very kind of performative, over-the-top acting.
I think it's a trend. I've seen it in multiple stuff I've seen lately.
It's interesting though, but maybe because it is quite this is when I think about musical theater. Mm-hmm. This is kind of what comes to mind when it comes to
that's what
acting.
It comes to most people's mind.
But the thing is as you said, this was documentary theater in a sense, and they were using real stories of real people. It wasn't trying to be verbatim or anything. It was inspired by and kind of created with the dancers. Anyway. Especially, I really disliked the director's character. Clearly, the director most of the time is just voice of God.
Yeah.
And then he has a few moments, which is how auditions normally would work. They would probably, sit in the auditorium.
with a table and a lamp,
Yeah, the classic. But so they did the voice of God still.
But he was on stage.
But he was on
doing
stage.
It, which was weird.
And then the actors were looking at imaginary director who's in the audience, but he's literally there. But yeah, he was literally just lurking
on stage a lot.
It was weird,
which kind of threw me off because I knew that you're not supposed to be on stage that much. But then when I sent you the original Broadway cast recording, you saw that he is maybe on stage 3 times.
No, but this is how it's intended. I'm sorry, I'm not a musical theater connoisseur, but duh.
Yeah, that's how auditions work.
It's and it's logics of writing. It's just come on. That was massive weird shit. Also, yeah, we talked about cameras and everyone's now using a camera, trying to be fancy,
to get
give up on hope
and stuff.
But it was just so weird and took us out of the confused period, I guess what Renata said.
Yeah, because we were confused about what time period we're in. You know what I mean? It was the ones that you hold with the little not harness, but the
it's a steady. It's like a steady cam.
Yes.
High-tech steady cam.
And really, they only used it twice. They were used one time, and never taken out again.
What is this obsession? Honestly, it's
because they think it's cool. And using film elements, film elements with theater. That's why.
Is the cameras the new movement? You know what I mean?
You're right.
Is the new movement of
theater. We have seen a lot of camera stuff. Camera.
A special shout out for whatever incident of multiple casualties.
Oh my god, that was so bad.
Yeah, I feel like we gave them a shout out before.
Yeah.
Fucking incredible camera use.
And by incredible, we mean what the hell?
Yeah, but the stage used it as an example of great camera work, and I was like, you must be kidding me.
Thing?
Anyway,
no.
Wow, tangent.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a struggle for me, in all honesty, to sit through it. But when I was watching the super grainy epilepsy-inducing video of the original production from the 70s. Was it 70s or 80s?
1975, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, it went so quick.
Yeah.
Because like it made sense. Characters made sense. Acting, like, even though, okay, that was like the original acting was slightly over the top, let's say, like from, if you kind of look at the today's standards of kind of naturalistic like acting, but it all made sense. Like the characters were interacting with one another, they were reacting to like each other's stories, there was like this kind of sense of ensemble, whereas like in this production it was like
they didn't really interact that much
no
with each
at
other.
all. They were
Actually,
just
now that
like
I think about it,
they were just staring at the non-existent director who was like,
I think it's okay to take something so iconic and make it your own, but I don't know, it just wasn't done well. I felt like, of course, we should encourage people to create their own thing, but because of this piece, the original is so strong and it has such a strong legacy, and what people are expecting of it and then to get disappointed when you see it.
And so it's an interesting one, isn't it? It's like when something is very iconic, and obviously but they had the new choreography,
some new arrangements to some of the music.
Yeah. Anyway,
which is fine. Again, that's fine. It's just, I think mostly it's just from my standpoint, directing and acting choices here and concept choices.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing wrong with the text. There's nothing wrong with doing updated arrangements. Choreography, there's not really anything wrong with doing new choreography, even though the original choreography is so iconic. But it's just the overall concept and directing and acting that just did not hit.
For this one, I kept like kind of watching it with 5-second delay, in a sense. In my head I was like, oh, this is a great line, or this could have been incredible, or this if it was delivered like this way. So that was, I think, that. And then on the flip side, we saw a different musical where acting and she's great. And I hate musicals, guys.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is amazing. Oh my God, but this is the haters podcast. What are we doing with this piece?
but like, it's, hating, there's a thin line between love and hate, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I know. Let's go to the past now to listen to Renata and Rasa.
See Next to Normal.
Yay.
Hello, everyone.
Windmill Theatre.
We're in the Wyndham's on West End. And we are seeing Next to Normal, the musical, which is like our second musical in the last week.
I know, right?
Which is great for Rasa.
She is trying to kill me.
But this one's going to be very different from the last one we saw.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, I already can see it's going to be one of those musicals that I like and enjoy, hopefully, you know?
I mean, it's very contemporary. It came out in
very
2008.
Cutesy, very much. Sorry.
2008. So it's very contemporary, and the set is very contemporary. Yeah. It's in a modern home.
Very Scandinavian style.
Very rich.
We have a revolve happening.
I love a turntable. Bring back the turntables.
Yeah, love a good old revolve. Oh, I think they might start on time. Look, she already closed the curtains.
That's what I'm talking about. As a duty manager, I love tricking people into thinking that they have less time than they actually have by closing the doors so that they can rush and sit down.
That is very true. That is
tricks of the trade, people.
Tricks of the trade.
So when you hear an announcement in the theater and they say you have 1 minute left, you actually probably have 5. But I didn't. Actually, I shouldn't have said that. Now people are gonna know they have more time. Damn it.
Now everyone's relaxed. No, but in all fairness, all the staff that we met were very lovely.
Yeah.
Very proactive. Which is like so important as well, because like I know how horrible audiences can be, and like
especially
usually
nowadays they've been real shit.
They don't know how to fucking behave.
No, they don't. It's because we were cooped up in the house for 2 years.
Yeah, but still, like
even before that,
you don't forget how to human in 2 years. Not even, you know what I mean? We can see the band. Well, the Gauze is there. Probably it's gonna be like video projections, I presume.
Yeah, possibly.
This is my prediction.
Possibly. A lot of this play, this musical, takes place in someone's brain. So
Oh shit, that's definitely the shit I like, you know? I know what you mean.
Very lots of internal stuff going on here.
Fuck yeah.
Love it. So we're gonna get some little like, abstract, what does the inside of someone's mind looks like, their
Yeah.
thought process, like that's what this play is a lot about.
Yeah.
So
We up in the gods as well, but I mean the view is fine, but our lovely proactive usher just told us, by the way, if you lean, be mindful, if someone sits behind us, they are not going to be able to see and they might be annoyed about it. And I was like, that's very mindful, very cutie.
But no one is behind us right now, so maybe
the
we lucked
moment.
out. But then again, latecomers, so
Yeah.
it's already 1 minute to 7:30.
Well, shit. So anyway, it's about to start. See you in the interval.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. So plot points for the ones who haven't seen the show. Spoiler alert. So first act opens with a family, like suburban family, getting ready for the day. So we see a mother, a father, son,
And teenage
daughter. They're all getting ready. And kind of quite quickly, we realize that something is not completely right.
Yeah.
There's a scene where she's like just making sandwiches for the kids, lunch boxes.
Yeah.
That turns
Into her furiously making like 50 sandwiches, and then she dumps 3 loaves of bread on the ground and dumps a whole packet of ham and a whole packet of cheese, just furiously making sandwiches. And that's like the moment where we realize something's wrong with her.
Yeah. And she kind of like in the song and like kind of in this speech, like feeding us information that basically the son that she is seeing is not really there. Later on, we learn that he actually died as a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And we see, and basically Diana, she is suffering from bipolar, and that's obviously like kind of sends her over the edge.
Yeah.
But then we kind of realized that they lived like this for quite a long time because her teenage daughter is, well, I don't know, 15 or something, probably.
Yeah.
Something like, I don't remember what.
Yeah,
what
she's like
stage.
15, 16, and it's clear that she has a precarious relationship with her mother because her mother has gone off the rails multiple times in her life. And she's kind of been parentified in a way.
Yeah.
And she kind of resents both of her parents, to be honest.
She's trying, and we kind of find her, she's trying very hard. She she's kind of like a genius, pushing herself to the limit with like academics. Classical kind of training to be a classical pianist at school. She has her recital that nobody from her family comes to, of course. And this is how she met her classmate,
Henry.
And they kind of like start hanging out, and she kind of starts forming this relationship with young Henry.
And he introduced her to weed.
Yeah, but she is not really into that weed.
Yes.
But then he mentions different other things that older and cooler kids doing, like,
and he's all natural. But we find out before this that that Diana is just on a never-ending cycle of drug cocktails that work for a little bit and then don't work. Work for a little bit and then don't. And they've been trying to adjust her dosage and her medications.
And nothing is working.
And they've just been spending lots and lots of money with therapists and psychoanalysts to figure out the right combination.
And the sad thing is like that combination maybe doesn't even exist. It's like for a lot of people with bipolar, it's very tricky. Like meds rarely really work.
And we see this in this
literally
this musical.
Like the doctor keeps piling different pills. So
basically it's a whole bunch of back and forth, and Diana is expressing in the song I Miss the Mountains that she can't feel anything when she's on those drugs. So the doctor gives her a new combination and it kind of starts to work, and she is working, but she can't feel anything, and she misses being able to feel things, even the things that hurt.
Yeah.
And then her hallucination, Gabe, her dead son,
starts and kind of like entices her into being like, listen, we don't need this. Like you can't really feel anything. Because like it's not helping you. So she does. And it's like a lovely personification of like her mental,
great
stability. Yeah. So Gabe is kind of her bipolar personified. So she stops taking medication, and for a minute it feels like everything is amazing.
But
She has
she's
loads of
just-
energy.
yeah.
But like this is a manic episode, basically,
Yeah,
that
big
her
time.
husband Dan confuses for her getting better.
Yeah.
Because I think he's really hoping for her
That this
she
is
will,
the solution.
that she's able to get better. But like it's been like over a decade, you know. So Natalie and Henry kind of they getting closer. Henry wants to meet her family. She's a bit reluctant, but then they end up at this
Having
family dinner when when Diana is on this kind of like manic episode of bipolar.
And her dad's trying to kind of like cover for it.
Yeah, but like it looks fine, and it looks like a lovely family gathering until Diana brings out the cake.
She brings out a birthday cake that says 18, and she says it's someone's birthday today.
Yeah,
And then they're just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
and then Henry is like, whose? And he's like, my brother's. And he's basically, oh, do you have a brother? And she's like, no, I don't. And then Dan realizes that, okay, this was just
she still sees him.
Yeah. And then this kind of was like, I think because Natalie feels, I guess, like super embarrassed about what's happening and the way that Henry saw like the craziness of her home life. She as well is kind of being pushed over the edge. So she starts to rebel and kind of, I guess, like,
she's competing with her dead brother.
Yeah,
so she's kind of withdrawing from her family.
And trying to, I guess, I don't know, a different approach to show that she exists, but like to use the kind of destructive one. So she starts taking different pills that she probably finds in her, you know, mom's medicine cabinet because she has shitloads.
So then they go and back to the doctor again. And the doctor suggests a different doctor from the doctor that she's had before. And basically they decide to go with talk therapy approach only at this point, and hypnosis. Yeah. And he uses hypnosis to really go deep into her memories as to why she's holding on to her son like this. Why hasn't she properly grieved them? And she kind of has a breakthrough essentially. And she goes home and she takes out the box with her son's belongings. And keep in mind, he was a baby when he died, 8 months old. But he is presented to us as the age he would have been as a teenager. And so she takes out all the belongings and stuff. And she's just heartbroken because she doesn't want to let this go. And then
she's saying essentially goodbye.
And then she decides to goodbye herself.
Well, no, Gabe decides to goodbye her. Gabe is saying like,
Gabe is putting things in her ear, saying we could be together forever.
Yeah, she's saying like you don't have to like say goodbye. There's like a different place,
a new place
where
us
like
to be
the
together
motherfucking
forever.
mountains and sun is shining and it's beautiful and there's no pain. And then there's a beautiful transition where like I didn't even notice how, but like then
the island turned,
and then we see a massive like puddle of blood,
literally.
And then we learn that obviously she was trying to kill herself. Then her doctor, as a last resort, recommends ETC,
electric shock therapy, for those. It's
electroconvulsive therapy, which is like so archaic.
Very
and
much.
Horrible.
And her husband, when the doctor brings it up, her husband's like, they still do that?
Yeah. He is being like, I guess, asked to agree to it, but he's like, well, she kind of has to make
the decision. So lots of back and forth. And basically her husband's like, I'm here for you. Let's go through this together. And like, I'll support you in anything that you decide, but please, this is our only chance to have some sense of normalcy, to get back to how we used to be all those years ago, to get back to where we want to be. And so we close Act 1 with her signing the consent form to start electroshock therapy.
Yeah. So let's go to us in the interval of Next to Normal. Interval thoughts.
I'm familiar with it, so I knew what to expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great contemporary musical.
Are you hating it? Are you hating it?
No.
Oh, damn it.
Are you hating it?
I'm loving it.
I knew you would. I could tell by your body language.
It's very weird. It's quite eerie because, as you said before off air, it's very similar to Unexpected.
Yeah.
As the
She'll
play
play
with.
that Rosa and Rasa.
You forgot my
writing.
you completely forgot my name for a second. I mean, it's not dissimilar. Let's say, like the concept is different, but like the idea is similar in a way.
Yeah.
And I think, like that's why I think this is the strength of musicals when like talking about something very dark. It really works because
Yeah.
it's really connects, and I think it's a very good example. But that's acting. That's a great acting. I think.
Absolutely.
It's like, and that's when everyone like literally got seasonal cold all of a sudden at the same time.
Yeah. Heard a lot of sniffles.
Myself
around-
included.
around.
Ain't gonna lie.
It's
Ain't gonna
like,
lie. Ain't gonna
you
lie.
know.
Also, like such a simple story.
Yeah.
Fucking love this shit, man.
I knew you would.
No, because I was thinking, the idea that I have for a musical that I'm not gonna obviously disclose, but it's very, very dark and very dangerous. And I was like, how can you not make it completely miserable?
And that's why I told
And I
you we
was-
need to see
I know,
this.
and I was like-
because
This is completely miserable, but like, now I'm like, my gears are turning. I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
I
It
think
could happen.
maybe we should try to see if I can find something like this similar for you to
No,
watch
because
as
I really
well.
liked Fun Home.
Fun
it
Home
was a lovely
is
musical.
also similar to this.
Come From Away was lovely.
Yeah.
So like I know,
What style you're going for, you think?
but like why can't we have like good acting in all of the musicals? That's my question.
Well, different musicals call for different things, and I think the fact that this is, I mean, it's up to directing.
Yeah, but like when we saw the chorus line again, if the acting would have been this caliber,
Yeah, it would have been great.
it
Yeah.
would have been amazing. It would have been amazing, and that's a shame. And that's why I think, yeah.
I mean, it's all subjective. I was looking at the reviews for A Chorus Line, and I was
Yeah.
like, wow, did we watch the same show?
Oh, Safety Curtain's very pretty. This is a very pretty theater.
It
I
is
ain't gonna
very
lie.
gorgeous.
This
This baby blue
Do you
color.
also have weird attraction to safety curtains, or is it just me?
I do like an ornate safety curtain, but I also like, you know which one I find really interesting?
Yeah.
Like the most interesting safety curtain there is?
Yeah.
The Barbican Theater safety curtain.
Oh, fucking love. I love any safety curtain.
That
Something-
safety curtain really
something
gets
that
me.
you know it's like at least like 3-5 tons. It's
Yeah.
so sexy.
But the
It could
Barbican
kill
one
you.
is like mirrors. It's like
Oh,
a
yes.
big thing of mirror
That's
that
very
closes
cute.
like a mouth, like this.
I actually like. It's very pretty. But I actually like the old school Victorian theatre safety curtain. That's actually just a safety curtain. I don't know. It's something very. Because like
Functional and pretty.
and also it reminds you that theatre is supposed to be dangerous. So like things that are behind the safety curtain to keep you safe, supposed to be dangerous, and we forget about it. Safety curtain is there for a reason, guys. Also,
When I was a kid at theater camp, they used to always be like, theater is a dangerous place. Only you can make it safe.
oh
because
yeah,
it's true.
Fuck yeah,
Because
theatre camp.
we had
Fuck
all
yeah, theatre
we had
camp.
all the ropes like exposed, all the fly reels
Yeah.
like were like out in the open, and they were like they put the
what,
fear of God
Jamie,
into us.
Jamie Lloyd, is that you? No, bitch, it's the
Like,
theatre
don't
camp.
you touch the fly
Yeah.
rails.
So what I was saying, like safety curtain is now up, so we can see that it's literally like ETC procedure room. It's very interesting. The kitchen island that we saw
Has
in
now
the very
turned into a
first,
bed.
Yeah, it's
Very
turned into
great
the
use of
ETC.
set, you know.
Very cool set.
Because we don't really, you can stay in the same place as and have the same pieces and just repurpose them with lighting and then projections and stuff.
Yeah, we know
Simple,
how to
but not,
suspend-
you know.
suspend the disbelief. I
Exactly.
guess.
Suspend the disbelief. You don't have
Yeah.
to see, even though I do love a big ass set.
Yeah.
I think, you know,
I'm
make the
that-
audience work hard.
I'm-
I am a champion of making audiences work.
Exactly.
Oh, also, we thought some guy was seizing in the stalls.
Yeah.
I think he was just falling asleep, actually.
Yeah, or could have been like blood as well. You know, some people are very sensitive to blood. When the character was cleaning up a pool of blood.
Yeah, and
So-
actually he was taking his time cleaning it. We were looking at the blood for a long time.
Which was like it's very
The
elegant.
action
I
of
fucking
him
love it.
singing his feelings about feeling helpless and what am I going to do next,
So
while
fucking-
cleaning up the blood of his wife after she tried to
Off herself.
off herself is just the imagery with the mismatched kitchen
and also
towels.
again, like very low key, being like, what the hell I'm going to do? But we know what the context is behind it,
Yeah.
and that's why I think everyone's like, including me, felt very like emotional, because also like, you know what other thing I really like? This is a horrible We Just Hate This podcast, by the way, because I'm like, I love this. I love how integrated band is.
I love it too.
I don't know if we needed this. One thing, I'm trying to hate on one thing. I'm really trying so hard. One thing that I was like, I don't think they had to spell out what happened to the son. I think we all understood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When he's he died. You know, when they went on this whole thing.
Yeah, but it's her
And I'm
therapy.
feeling-
It's her.
No, but when the husband said, and the daughter was like, I'm
right,
all alone
I
because
guess,
like she doesn't
I
love
guess.
me.
Yeah, you're right.
We
I
were
can
like,
see.
I get it, but that's such a minuscule hating part.
I mean, compared to the rest of it, it's just
I'm trying so hard.
ingeniously put together.
It's beautiful.
Seriously,
Honestly,
the music is beautiful. Like the lyrics are just like, wow. Some of this, when lyrics are text and people treat the lyrics like text and treat it with the same reverence as text,
so good,
and write it in that way, it just elevates the entire thing.
I think they're coming now. So
musicians are getting back in place.
Yeah.
Everyone's
so anyway,
sitting back down.
hopefully we're gonna hate the second half.
Nah, we're not though.
No, we're
it's not gonna happen.
Oh, okay, bye.
So yeah, that was us. So basically, what happens in the second half?
So we're starting with ETC's treatments.
Yeah,
We're starting with it, and
and it kind of works.
it works,
And
but with one caveat, one thing.
She forgets all the 19 years of
She
her
literally
life.
forgets her life.
Yeah.
Literally.
She forgets her husband, her daughter, and her son.
And her son.
Which is great.
and the dad and Dan thinks it's good. So he goes on a journey to try to reform her memories the way he remembers it, or the way that he
wants her to
remember it.
Yeah, so he's just omitting just one tiny little detail about her,
because it could trigger
her.
Natalie brings them back down and says, like, you used to be crazy, you were acting crazy like all this time.
Yeah.
She tells her that, and Diana's like, okay, but I need to make sense of everything. So she just basically is just going through pictures, photos.
Yeah.
Photos,
also, Natalie as well. She's like, "Oh wow, so now you don't even remember me."
Right.
It's like kind of the last straw, I guess, in her.
And then she starts partying and going to clubs like crazy and taking the pills her mom had in her house.
Yeah, and Henry kind of is trying to stand by her
and reel her in
a very similar fashion.
Yeah, it's
like
it's mirrored.
It's
mirrored.
Yeah, the way it's presented as well, like mirrors the kind of parents as well, which is lovely. Anyway, but then Diana has like this sense of like something is missing, something is missing, and then it starts kind of unraveling her again until
she finds the music box in her husband's bag, the music box that belonged to their dead son,
that they would play basically to get him to sleep. And she remembers everything again.
Yep. And she's mad that he tried to keep it from her. And then at the same time, with Henry trying to, help Natalie kind of deal with this, he invites her to their winter dance and says, "You should come with me. We should have fun. Let me take you away from this and let's have a good time." And she's like, "No, I don't want to go." And he just keeps badgering and not giving up on her. And when Henry comes to, actually the moment when she finds the music box is and then Dan gets pissed and slams the music box down on the ground.
And
Henry is coming to pick up Natalie for their party. And so we do see that juxtaposition between Natalie and Henry and Diana and Henry, and similar.
Yeah, and how Dan kind of is losing it and breaking it, or like kind of giving up in the sense of helping her. We see Henry trying, even though like Natalie keeps pushing him away.
Yeah.
He's like kind of very similar to
they're both
Dan.
pushing each other away, and
yeah,
these men are trying to be Mr. Fix It and fix everything, but they can't really.
They can't, unfortunately.
Do that. And so as a result, Natalie takes Diana back to the doctor, and the doctor's like, okay, we can try something else. We can try new treatments. We can try new things. This is a chronic
We can try
illness.
new-
It's like
yeah.
diabetes. It's like cancer. It's like any other illness, physical illness. You have to keep on top of it, and we have to keep trying to find a better way of this. You don't have to be like this. We can, if we keep trying, we can
Yeah.
make it work. It's been years of this.
Yes.
Untold amounts of money.
And also like the toll that trying different cocktails that, you know, different mood stabilizers.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But then she decides to,
Well, she has a talk with Natalie first.
oh yeah.
And she's basically like, I'm sorry. I want to be there for you. I'm sorry I haven't been a good mom. I'm sorry that I've ignored you or whatever. And
It's the first kind of honest conversation
yeah.
we've seen between.
But then Natalie kind of pushes her away and says, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Because she's probably said that many, many times through literally her entire life. Literally.
Yeah, and also words when your actions are completely different are meaningless.
Yeah. So Natalie does end up going to the dance and having a nice time with Henry, who she's in love with.
Yeah, in the way kind of slightly breaking the cycle, I guess. And
and she's like, I could go crazy. I could be like my mother. I could be like her. But then Henry's like, okay, I'll be perfect for you. I'll stand by. There's lots of sniffles in that whole saga.
I'm like, I've been crying. Like, to be fair, like first half, I was just crying, and second half, I was like, okay, crying a little bit. I was trying to control myself because I was feeling
lots of sniffles to the right of me.
Yeah, no, it was very. But that's the thing. I think like that's why it was so powerful. This whole thing, because the emotions were, all the characters were suppressing emotions.
Yeah,
but like, and when actors do that, it allows for the audience to feel the whole extent of the emotion, because like we know what it is, but it's not like being shouted in our faces. It's just a subtle hint, and what's not being said, it's usually more powerful than what is. And then so basically so then Natalie is kind of like, I need to live my own life, and Diana kind of does the same thing
exactly. And
so she's like, listen, I have to. She leaves her family.
Yeah, she tells Dan, I'm sorry, I love you, I know you love me so much, but this is not going to work. I gotta go.
Yeah,
anyways, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry, but I need to try this on my own. And
you need to try this on your own.
Need to try this on your own, because he has never done life without her. It's one of the lyrics of one of the songs. He's never done life without her. So he has to he falls apart when Natalie comes home from the dance. Diane has already left. She's
So wait. Yeah. So something else happens. So for the first time, Gabe, her bipolar, whatever thing, he stays in the house when she leaves.
Yeah.
And we see him being like, what the hell? She actually, by letting it slightly go and being like giving up, she actually takes a step forward.
Yeah.
And then a very gut-wrenching thing happens. Gabe,
creepy,
that wasn't visible to Dan
or
all,
Natalie,
or anyone.
Yeah,
he just like grabs Dan and like kind of
sings, "I'm alive again. I'm alive. I'm in your brain. I'm in your soul. I'm in your pores. I'm here. I'm everything."
Because for the first time when Diana leaves, they finally have space to deal with their own grief.
Yeah.
So he kind of like and we were like, oh shit. And then he touches Natalie's hand. But it was so like cleverly done physically, the way like Gabe literally just like basically put Dan in the like kind of
almost
like
a headlock. Yeah.
Because like how strong, that kind of like trauma is. Whereas with Natalie, he just like gently kind of like pressed on her hand, like just kind of not held, but kind of like squeezed her hand, like very subtly. And that kind of, I don't know, maybe shows the extent of trauma caused by his death. It was like fucking genius.
Yeah, directing.
Michael Longus is a G. I love him. Anyway.
So now we're in the future. Dan is falling apart, but Natalie is like, I hate that she has to be parentified in this way, but she has to comfort her father.
That's what happens. That's what fucking happens.
She has to comfort her father and says, okay, we can't live like this. We got to move on. We gotta, it's just going to be me and you now, but we got to get it together. She's like, let there be light. So she starts turning on the lights and the stage subtly starts getting brighter and brighter, and we get epilogue. So Diana is with her parents now. She's living with her parents at the moment, staying with her parents.
It was very funny when Henry says, "Are they alive? Are they real? Are they real?"
Yeah, because like, are her parents real people?
And Henry was like, "Yeah, they're real.
They are real."
Surprisingly.
And then Dan goes to see
the
doctor and says, "I know you can't say anything, but is she okay? Is Diana okay? Are you still treating her?" And he says Diana has to do this on her own, so we're just going to give her space to do that. And asks Dan, do you want me to recommend someone for you to go see? And then Dan is like, no, I'm fine. Okay, I'm okay. And then he's like, yes, yeah, please. Yeah, please give me some recommendations of someone to go see.
Yeah.
And it's a song about, and then we find out the doctor is still treating Diana. So she is trying a new drug. We see exchanging of pills. Which is not how it really works in real life. It's called, you go to the pharmacy. But it's musical theater.
It's musical theater, creative license. Yeah, so everyone kind of like, in that last song, everyone's kind of trying to cope and coping. Yeah. It's not like, oh my God, we're amazing. No, everyone's just dealing next to normal.
But there's hope at the end of this.
Yeah, it's next to normal. We are not normal, but we are next to it.
And that's good enough for us, considering all the other shit we went through. And that's the end.
So
let's listen to
us at the end. Yes. Okay, after show thoughts.
Well, everyone was sobbing around me. Every single person was sobbing. Literally sobbing.
But you know what? But everyone left with a smile.
Yeah,
because catharsis.
Yeah, because at the end, even though she's still struggling with this, like the line the psychiatrist says, it's a chronic illness. The same thing with diabetes or any other illness.
You need to know how to live with it.
You have to live with it, and there's still hope at the end, and that's what the ending was about. There's still light at the end, literally light. And how, if you notice, throughout the whole thing, it's pretty dimly lit. Yeah. But then at the end, it just gets brighter and brighter and brighter because there's still hope.
Not in a cheesy way as well.
Not in a cheesy way, but in an open-ended, hopeful way.
Honestly, it was so beautiful. Like, oh, damn it, we need to find something to hate.
I mean, again, it's the hype surrounding it is real. And you know what?
I didn't know any of the hype, but the hype is correct, man.
It is correct. And you know what? It took them, because when I was looking up like the production history, they got the idea in '98. It didn't get a production until 2008. It took them 10 years, and it shows.
20
from now, but it took them from 98 to 2008 to get an actual production. They did workshops all in between that time and putting it through the ringer over and over and over again. And apparently, in some of the earlier versions, it was not serious enough. It was too comedic and too quirky.
Ooh.
They had to.
Yeah, right. I really appreciate the comedy. I think that's the thing. I think
it's very dry.
It was a very good. It was a good, I think, balance in between the comedy and the drama. It's like, because we're literally standing by the wall that says slave play. That was the comedy was so
too much.
As you said,
all over the
really
place.
Foreign in a sense. It's just let's add this, and this was really kind of needed respite, I think, from the drama. It was amazing. Wow. Rasa didn't hate the musical.
No, I mean, again, with musical theater, there's something out there for everybody, and I think this is just a great example of masterful contemporary musical theater.
This is gorgeous, and I think it's as well it's such a tough, obviously, and bleak subject, and I think
very bleak.
And this is what I really hate about theater. Doesn't matter, musical, whatever, which is bleak for the sake of bleakness.
Yeah.
But this wasn't. Everyone cried, everyone released something, but then left with a smile, and it's such a big, I think, testament to what they managed to achieve. Fucking legends.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, and it touched on so many things, not just mental illness, but
so
fucking
many
child
things.
loss.
Yeah.
Child loss,
And
that's
also
a big
being
one.
yeah, and also like the whole storyline with the daughter was so
being-
beautiful, the way the beautifully echoed as well.
Yeah, and how she was basically fighting for the attention of her parents with her dead brother.
Yeah, that she never
Literally.
fucking knew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fighting for attention from a
Literally.
dead person.
Literally. It was gorgeous. Honestly, like very beautiful. Wow. Really liked it.
So maybe you should go and
Didn't
look into
find it
some
cheesy.
more Brian Yorkie shows.
I'm gonna fucking definitely look that motherfucker
Yeah.
up because that motherfucker knows what. But to be fair, if it takes him 20 years to develop one show,
Well,
probably
10. This was 10.
Okay, cool.
This
I mean,
was 10.
fair play, fair fucking
But
play.
it takes that long, I think. In a
Exactly.
lot of ways, everyone's not lucky like Lin-Manuel Miranda with Hamilton, how that got developed
Yeah.
fairly quickly.
But then again, as you
but-
said, like that's kind of aged when you like looked at it.
Yeah,
And like this,
hasn't. And
this
it's
one I
older.
don't think will
No,
age. It's very like
it's very timely in whatever time period.
yeah. Loss, like that's the thing when you like talk about very archetypical things, like it's not gonna age. You know what I
No,
mean?
because it's something a lot of people can
Yeah.
relate to and connect to. And even if they haven't specifically gone through
No.
it, they can pick up things that they may connect with and
It's universal.
You know?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not even, I'm not planning to lose a child. I'm not planning to have one, But
Yeah,
like,
but loss in
I
general,
understand what it is. You know what I mean?
you know.
It was gorgeous.
And also the
nice.
thing about it is that it's such like a blank slate that it can be casted any type of way.
doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter what it
anyone
is.
could play anything.
Yeah, it
it's
doesn't
like
matter.
it's not specific. So
It's not gender specific. It's not age
And I think-
specific.
and I
it's not
think-
nothing specific.
I think would be really interesting, like, because I was reading something about a production they did with like an all Asian cast, which I think could be which is probably very interesting, especially the stigma surrounding mental illness and certain communities. Casting it in a certain way can definitely be like, and you don't have to change anything, but just casting it a certain way makes it even more interesting and more touching on more things.
Yeah, because
So-
like it doesn't really matter. I think it's like,
No.
especially mental illness, like in that generation, like 40s, 50s. It wasn't like I think to
No, you just
be
lock
talked
people
about.
up and
Exactly, you lock people
throw
up.
away the key.
Exactly.
You
When I-
lobotomize people and you shock them like
when
they
I
did in the
told
play.
my mom that I'm going to like counseling, not even therapy, she cried. So like that
She thought
explains.
something was wrong with you.
No, that's completely like
Yeah.
explains the attitudes of that generation.
Yeah.
So fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Love it. Crazies.
It's
everywhere.
yeah.
Get try.
Are we gonna have a part two to last episode or what?
I don't know. We shall see. But like back to the studio,
Back to
whatever
the
it is.
Right. So you just had the sound of Rasa thoroughly enjoying herself in
Yes.
a musical.
Thoroughly enjoying herself at a musical. That's right.
It was
But
lovely.
again, like we said, it's just a masterful piece of using music and using lyrics and using of excellent directing and excellent
Performing,
acting
yeah.
and the set and using the set and using
Everything.
lighting together and
Everything was just right. Everything had its place.
yeah.
Like,
And it was so grounded and so clear about what it was about and
and I'm trying to be fair, if I could hate on it,
yeah.
wasn't fully convinced with projections. At
That
points
may
they were
have made
a bit,
that they were like smoke and stuff and like
and then like pills falling, which like
We didn't
was
need that maybe.
low key, like maybe corny, because I'm trying to hate it so much, even though like, because like if everything was perfect, that was maybe like,
Yeah.
But then again, it was used very beautifully when she was, having ETC.
Yeah.
It still made sense. Everything made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it was so beautiful as well, like hearing everyone sniffling.
Yeah.
And then when people were leaving, everyone was like laughing, smiling, literally like cathartic experience.
Yeah.
And like this is like what theater is supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was
Talking
just,
about hard things, but still giving us hope at the
Yeah.
end.
and that's I think exactly what the chorus line production could have achieved, because they had enough real stories, enough pain, enough, struggle that everyone could relate to for us to like feel it as well. But unfortunately, because
it fell flat emotionally at the end. Because at the end, it's like you're supposed to be a mix of emotions. You're happy for those who got hired, but you're also sad for those who
didn't make the cut.
And it's just like, well, it's on to the next one, but maybe I'll get the next one.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be able to reach my dreams and do what I want to do.
Yeah.
But it again, the emotion fell flat in that one.
Yeah, but that's the thing. And like, I feel like it had enough emotional kind of potential, let's say, in the book itself, but it just didn't deliver. So when I asked after the show, why can't all musical acting be as good as this? I stand by it. It's like, literally, that would be great.
Yeah. A lot of, I don't know. It's, again, I think there's a bit of a trend here because what I saw in New York weeks ago also had a lot of overacting in it.
Yeah.
And it didn't really need it, even though it is fantasy, even though it's magical, even though it's a fairy tale. You can still don't gotta be.
You can be OTT, but make it real still. Like you still need to be a real human being that we can relate to.
But a chorus line has closed. But
and to be fair, don't really go. I mean, it's touring, I think.
Yeah.
Do we recommend it? No, but watch the YouTube video.
But the thing is, there's multiple versions. There's multiple productions on YouTube. There's someone who has a playlist of chorus line productions from everywhere. So you can watch it. Definitely watch the original production. Yeah. Definitely see if you can see. I think it was the 2006 revival. There's also a really great documentary about the making of the 2006 revival. Which I think people should watch, and there's a documentary about the show as well.
There's a documentary about the documentary.
Yeah, there is.
That's for the real nerds.
For the real those of us who are musical theater nerds. But anyway,
and Next to Normal, go see it.
So the 21st of September.
Go see it.
They still have pretty affordable tickets left. Yeah, it wasn't full when we saw it, so buy tickets.
I think it deserves to be full, even though it sounds very dark. You're not gonna feel heavy after watching it.
No, I didn't see any trigger warnings in the foyer.
Yeah, but
they probably should have done it for the blood at least.
Yeah,
that was a lot.
It's the whole thing about trigger warnings now.
You don't want to
because some people say
but also I think we should warn people with blood.
Yeah, true. That was like as we say, someone probably fainted because of blood or something. So that was real magic, real power of theater. As we promised, we didn't go to see an American playwright play.
Well, both of these shows
but we seem to see American playwright musicals.
Both of them are, so.
Listen, next time we're gonna, we have to stop with the Land of Hope and Glory.
I'm sorry that we have a monopoly on musical theater. It's kind of our thing. No offense to the Brits here, but let's be real here. No. It's a very American thing.
Big man
it's our thing.
So we don't know what we're gonna see next. But we're gonna try to make it not American.
Maybe.
Shall we try? If we can. But if not, it's been We're Just Haters, the American theater podcast.
I mean, to be honest. But, we really choose our shows randomly just based on what we think we'll be interested in. But if anyone has any suggestions, you can send them to our Instagram.
Yeah, reach out. Let us know. If you hated on if you hated on a play recently, send it our way. Yeah. We're gonna come and hate it on it too.
We can join the hating.
Join the hating. Amazing. See you next time.
Bye. Bye.